I am excited. Guys, what is going on? Ali here, back again with another video for you guys today. Today is going to be a review video, an anime movie review video, because finally, since September, since this movie came out in September in Japan, I have been waiting with my best friend, Chris, to head to the theater to see this masterpiece. I already know it's going to be an 11 out of 10. I'm talking about the Violet Evergarden movie. Violet Evergarden, the movie. Not the spin-off one. I got the spin-off on DVD, a Blu-ray DVD combo pack, because you always got to get that combo pack. But me and my buddy have been waiting for this movie for so damn long, and we are finally ready to go and head to see it in the theater and everything. And y'all already know. A lot of people know on this channel that this series, Violet Evergarden, is my number one of just anime and manga in general. It's like my number one show that I just love it and everything. And we're finally gonna get the movie and everything. I got my costume, my cosplay. I don't know if you can see all of it and whatnot. I got the boots over there. I got this right here. I'm all set up to go to the theater, like in cosplay and everything, to see this movie, to finally see the premiere for the US premiere and everything. And I'm just ecstatic. I'm ready to see my friends. It's gonna be a good ass time. We're gonna cry a lot. It's gonna be heavy. I can tell I'm gonna be sad, but ecstatic and happy. I can tell it's gonna be an amazing ending. And I'm ready. So without further ado, let's get to it. Oh, and also something that was amazing, like a couple days ago, like I think 2 days before the movie's coming out, like today, whatever, 2 days ago, I got the official CD, the official soundtrack, Violet Evāgāden Auto Memories, in the mail, which is pretty freaking awesome and ecstatic, and I'm probably gonna listen to it while I'm in the car. But anyways, let's get to the theater. Let's get it. Let's go. So we're here now at the AMC theater. I don't know if you can see it. But yep, here we go. I hope I don't have to pee, but let's go in there. Okay, so AMC, let's go. Gotta put the mask on. Don't forget about that. I'm very hyped. I'm excited. This is a nice theater. We're finally going to see the Violet Evergarden movie. Again, hope I don't pee. Hope I don't have to pee. Seems like a really nice place, so here we go. I said this numerous times about this series. I said this during my Violet Evergarden series review, anime review. I said this during my Violet Evergarden Eternity and the Auto Memory Doll movie, spin-off movie review. I said this during my limited edition box set unboxing of the anime, of the series. And I'm going to say this again after watching this movie, the conclusion, pretty much, unless they do some sort of, like, OVA or special episode on Netflix about, like, after the reunion and everything. I would very much hope so, that Netflix decides to do something like that. But I will say this again from watching the Violet Evergarden movie, Violet Evergarden the movie, for pretty much the conclusion, that this series is always going to be, it is and always will be, or always will, like, have such a special place in my heart from beginning to end. Like, I haven't felt like this since Naruto officially ended, like the manga and everything. I haven't felt like this since Bleach the series, the manga officially ended years ago, like 5 years ago or something like that. That was a long time ago. In that, like, I feel like I'm like, now what? Like, that's the feeling that I have. I know there's so many anime that I love that I'm continuing watching or like reading in manga and stuff like that, but like Violet Evergarden, this movie felt like something that I'm like, this is a legitimate conclusion to this beautiful story of this beautiful woman named a female character named Violet Evergarden. And like this movie was so it's everything I wanted. Like it's just there were 3 storylines within this one movie. This 2 hour and 20-minute movie. And like first of all, right off the bat I started crying because like the beginning I started tearing up because immediately it goes into like a story of like a somewhat of which is this is like the most beautiful way to even start this movie, that we're seeing An from An from episode 10, who like her mom wrote her 50 years worth of letters for like her birthday and whatnot. We're seeing An's grandkid. And this is how the movie starts, with An's grandkid checking out everything that her grandma had and seeing the letters that An kept before she passed away. Like, her grandkid found a box full of all the letters that Violet wrote that her mom wanted to send to her 50 years. Like, just that alone was such an amazing way to start off this movie, seemingly weaving into it. And that's pretty much the first story, which goes in and out between like the second and third storylines within this movie. You go back and forth from like the future of like, An's grandkid, like checking out the company that Violet used to, Violet worked at, and then when she turned 18, she quit the company and moved to the island where Gilbert is, and she became like she ran that post office that was on that island. And like, oh my gosh, first of all, the second storyline with this terminally ill kid, this messed everybody up in the theater. Like, straight up messed everybody. I looked at my bro. I looked at my dude Chris, my best friend. I'm using my peripherals, looking at him. He's bawling his eyes out. I'm bawling my eyes out. Like, his sister and his girlfriend are bawling their eyes out and shit. And like, this story of this terminally ill kid who seems like he's very rude to like his family and whatnot, but that's because like he's getting a little tired of everybody worrying about him and whatnot, saying that like, I'm tired of everybody coming in saying like, oh, are you okay, and stuff. Like, he's like annoyed by that. And like his story with his friend, like he told his friend to not ever come to the hospital to see him and whatnot. And you're seeing that kid like here and there, like looking around the corner to see if he's okay. So like the whole thing was so sad. And like seeing Violet, she's so good now, amazing at figuring out what people really want to say or write or feel and stuff. Like, she's so good. Like, her development is like truly shows in this movie, and it's absolutely immaculate. And like, just to see this terminally ill kid calling her up saying that like, I want to write these letters for my mom and dad and for my little brother, so like when I go to heaven, could you please give these letters to them when I die? And oh my gosh, and the pinky promise that Violet gave, or that he gave Violet, like, it's a promise that you'll do that. You won't give them the letters early or anything like that. And like, it was so sad. Obviously there was, and even they had like cute, funny, like, banter and stuff with, like, Claude, like, this kid giving him, like, a praying mantis, and Claude, like, freaking out and stuff, and Claude constantly talking about, like, oh my gosh, I don't want a girl now, I want a boy, like, I'm too worried, I know I'll be way too worried if I had a girl or something like that. I'm like, Claude, Catleya's right there, come on. Get that kid going. You're constantly talking about a kid. Catleya, you. Like, everybody wants it, right? Get it together, all right? A lot of it is funny, but it's, like, so unbelievably sad and tragic, but they make it in a way that is so beautiful from that kid who was about to pass away and wasn't able to get a letter written for his friend because of his illness. Like, he died that night when he was going to, like, write the letter, and Iris was there to write the letter for, like, in Violet's steed, because Violet was on the island looking for Gilbert and everything, and Gilbert was there, and that was a whole other thing, which was really sad and stuff. And a beautiful, happy ending. Absolutely beautiful. And, like, she wasn't able to write down the letter because the kid started coughing and everything. He's about to die and stuff. So they rushed to give him a phone and everything. And him and his best friend were talking on the phone. And, like, it's also a beautiful transition to, like, letters, like, people sending letters to, like, telephones, and ghostwriters, and, like, auto memory dolls are becoming obsolete throughout the times and throughout the era and stuff, because of telephones being made and everything. And it's a lot easier now to just, like, talk to somebody from a far distance over the phone, to where people don't really need to write letters anymore. But here's Violet writing all these letters that people still want from her and stuff, and Iris is doing that stuff too. And, like, even like when in the beginning, when Violet and Iris and Catleya and Benedict and Claude were all hanging out and stuff, about to go eat or whatever, like, you see, I believe her name's Erica, right? Who from the first season, like, always wanted to be an author, who was a doll, who was an auto memory doll, but now she's a writer for the one playwright who, like, Violet helped with, like, coping with, like, his daughter dying from the first season. Like, his daughter died, and she came to, like, talk to like, help him out and stuff. And after that play that he did, like, Violet introduced Erica to him, and she became his assistant writer and stuff like that, and she was able to write her own script for a small time play, which is just, like, absolutely fantastic. Like, the way that it's written in this series, in this movie, that, like, it's weaving little bits of the series into the movie, like Ann's grandkid in the beginning, and, like, bits and pieces throughout the movie. You keep seeing her, and she ends up at the island that Violet ended up living when she was 18. She quit the company, she moved to the island with Gilbert and everything, and, like, they even have, like, a stamp, like an official stamp that has Violet on it. Like, oh my, like, it's amazing. The movie was amazing. Like, the whole second story of the terminally ill kid was, like, probably the most heartbreaking thing of the movie, period. There was no dry eye in the room. Like, I could not stop crying. Everybody in the damn theater couldn't stop crying. It was absolutely beautiful. And it was heartbreaking, but they do it in a way that looks so, like, beautiful, like, beautifully sad. Because at the end of the day, he was able to say, I'm sorry, to his best friend before he died. And he said, I'm sorry and thank you for being my friend. And And he also said, like, the things with his mom, saying that, like, your pancakes were always the best and everything, and I loved fishing and camping with you, Dad, and thank you for having me as your son, like, and then his little brother saying that, like, I love this movie. His little brother, like, him saying, like, I'm sorry I'm so mean to you. I seemed so mean to you, but I loved you very much. Like, when the moment you were born, I was so unbelievably happy that you were born. Thank you for making me a big brother and whatnot, and like let mom and dad spoil you, like in like give you the spoils, like in my half of like the spoils, like, so, like, it was so. Oh, and the kid was like so happy that his brother said that to him, and like, it was amazing. Like, the whole fucking thing was so amazing. Whew, okay. Those two storylines in the movie were absolutely fantastic and stuff. An's grandkid, weaving that throughout the story, and also weaving throughout the movie's story with that kid who was terminally ill, and what was amazing. And then the third storyline within all of this is Violet, like, still coping with, like, not coping, but, like, she still can't get Gilbert out of her mind. Like, oh my, and when she finally got to see him, all of it was amazing. And also, the thing I love most about when she finally sees him face to face, she can't say, Gilbert, I love you, like, face to face, which is also like a testament to literally what the show is about, the series is about. That sometimes a letter, you're able to convey your feelings and your emotions through a letter that you might not be able to in person, like face to face and stuff. And they really show it with Violet's character at the end when she's in the water with Gilbert. They're both staring at each other, and the animation and the art, like, Kyoto Animation, god tier artwork and animation. Like, Gilbert and Violet standing in the water together, looking right at each other, and when they're both crying, and Violet is just like, I love that they made it so Violet is like, she can't say it face to face with them, like, she's like, it's like too much. It's almost too much for her to say it to him, that, like, I love you. And which is a testament to what the story is about, the entire series is about, that, like, letters can convey feelings and emotions and stuff then that like otherwise might not be able to, like, in person and whatnot. It's easier, or it's like, it's a lot more elegant or eloquent to, like, write in a letter your emotions and your feelings and whatnot than possibly saying it to said person and whatnot. Like, that's what I liked about that interaction at that end. And he embraced her so much and held her tight, like, please don't cry and whatnot. And, like, both of them crying made me cry. Like, I'm so happy for that ending. Like, it was, I think there was one at time, I give this movie an 11 out of 10 or 12 out of 10. What would have been really good also is if he, like, at that moment when he was hugging her, like, say he kissed her on the forehead or something like that, something along those lines. Like, that would have been icing on the cake, absolute icing on the cake. Like, it was amazing. Every damn thing about it was so good. And like An's grandkid, like, traveling to where the company that the auto memory dolls like worked at and whatever, and it's actually a museum now of like, you know, typewriters and letters and all of these stamps and everything, like these official like historical stamps and whatnot. And one of them was Violet, and it's an official stamp from that island, and it was the only one and whatnot. So then she went to that island and saw like all of these people and everything on this island, and that like it turned out Violet was like, she quit her the company of being an auto memory doll or whatever, and then she moved to that island and became like the like she ran the post office on that island and whatnot. I think she probably still wrote letters and stuff, because even though there were telephones and whatnot that like progressed so much that like writing letters and ghostwriting were like becoming pretty much obsolete and everything, people still went to her to write letters. That island still writes letters and everything. And like it was just such a beautiful thing. Beautiful ending and everything. Now, I didn't get to see the end credit scene, which I really wanted to. I'm very, very bummed out about it. And because of that, I'm probably going to go end up seeing the movie one more time so I can just specifically just see that end credit scene. But overall, like, it was like a pinky promise. Like, it was a really cute end credit scene with like a pinky promise between Gilbert and Violet and whatnot. And like 11 out of 10, 12 out of 10, 11, 12 out of 10. And like just like, and Gilbert being like, I understand Gilbert so much that like I love their romance or their love for each other, Violet and Gilbert, so much that like when Violet finally got to where like her and Claude finally, or Claudia got to where Gilbert was on that island, he keeps yelling at them to get away, go home. I don't want you here. He's doing that in his own mind. He feels like he's doing that for Violet. Even though Violet, throughout this entirety of the series where she thinks he's dead or something, this is hurting her the most, you know? This truly is. And he doesn't necessarily, like, know that or anything. And he thinks that this truly is the best for both of them to not be around each other. But it's heartbreaking. It's breaking both of their hearts. And I'm like, just end up together, stay together forever, and whatnot. And like just to see Gilbert's thoughts that like he's doing this, he's trying to do this because he always thought of her affectionately. He always loved her in some form or in some way, that like he doesn't want to be in her life to where like she's always sticking to him again. Like he doesn't want to go through that again. He doesn't want her to go through that again. But like because of what he did, like leaving when he actually survived and everything, and like the last order that he gave her saying like, order you to be free, and from the bottom of my heart, I love you. And then him disappearing, it made her realize like that she loves him too, and realized her emotions and stuff all on her own. And all on her own, she knows that she is in love with him. And just that interaction was so unbelievably beautiful. And then again, at the end when he's rushing to her, like she just hears a faint Violet. Like him saying her name. And the moment that happens, she dives off of that boat into the water to get back to that island. And him rushing down the mountain like as fast as he freaking can and shit. And they end up in that water looking at each other was the most beautiful thing that I've seen in an animated movie in so damn long. Like it was unbelievably immaculate seeing her standing there, him standing there, looking at each other. She can't even like speak because of like she's just looking at him, and then she looks down with like kind of like embarrassment because she can't like get it out of her throat, saying that like, Major, I love you so damn much. And Gilbert comforts her and embraces her, saying that like, I love you so much, I love you too, and everything. And like, oh, the way the movie was done is immaculate. Like it was absolutely stunning and phenomenal and everything. Like, again, just another unedited, like, review of the greatness that is Violet Evergarden. Now, if they end up doing like an after reunion type of special, like may say on Netflix, like 30-minute episode or 40-minute special episode or something, 30 to 40-minute special episode, if they end up doing that on Netflix or something like that with like the after reunion, like some more stuff with Gilbert and Violet, after and whatnot, maybe getting married, wedding or something, or more stuff that goes on the island, things like that, like more of their interaction, I would absolutely love it and everything. Like, does the Claudia getting together with Cat Leia, I would absolutely love that. You know, you got I believe Erica and Benedict. Get them together. I want to see some stuff like that, please. I would love that stuff. But like, if this is the conclusion, like, Kyoto Animation, you did a literally perfect job. You really did. After all the shit that you guys have gone through, that Kyoto Animation gone through, you guys, like, absolutely immaculate and beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful movie. Everything. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this review. Like, those 3 storylines woven into the movie and everything, and like all those small things from, or not small things, but those some pieces from the series put into like the movie and stuff, like the playwright that Violet helped, was sort of in this because Erica like became his assistant and whatnot, and then you got Ann's grandkid, Ann from episode 10, about the 50 years worth of letters and stuff that her mom gave her and things like that, and just, like, it's amazing. Like, it's so good, and there was such solid, like, good humor in the movie too. But it's so unbelievably sad and tragic and stuff. But they do it in such a beautiful, beautiful way. They do it in such a beautiful way, and I love it. I love it so much, and it is such a happy ending also. And to have Violet as like a very famous type of ghostwriter auto memory doll that spanned through the ages of like people knowing her and everything, and then the company becoming like this big museum for like typewriters and auto memory dolls and ghostwriting and stuff, and seeing that stamp that had Violet on it, like, oh my gosh, everything came together so perfectly and everything. It was absolutely beautiful. If they decide to do maybe 1 or 2 more specials, like on Netflix, like special episodes, 30-minute episodes, I'm all for it. But if not, this was a perfect ending. This was a perfect ending to Violet Evergarden and everything. And that's it for my review, guys. If you guys seen the movie, or you guys are excited for the movie, like this video, comment down below your thoughts if you've seen the movie and everything, what you think about it and whatnot, and subscribe to the channel for more reviews, vlogs, unboxings, live reactions, theory discussion videos, and things like that. So gentlemen, stay classy, ladies, stay sexy, but most important, everybody, you gotta stay a little nasty, alright? So peace and love, and I will see y'all later in the next video. Peace out, may the force be with you always, plus ultra latum. Violet Evergarden, the greatest series of all time, in my opinion. It's just my opinion. My favorite series of all time. And I loved this movie. Alright, guys. Peace out.